All right, we are live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Hey, Hallmark, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? List something. Greetings from every part of the world. Leave a comment, say hi, wave, smile, send an emoji or something. Yeah, it feels good to be here. It feels good to be able to talk to us today. And wherever you are right now, I'd like you to do something for me. Just like this post, share, reshare, host a watch party, invite as many friends as you can to partake of our session today. All right, let's get started. First, I'd like you to celebrate yourself. Reason is that because out of your busy schedule, out of your tiresome day, you were able to make it to this live platform or this live session today. You deserve some accolades. So I'd like you to celebrate yourselves. Come on. Celebrate yourselves. It's great. You're the best. Trust me, you're the best. I'd like you to say that to yourself. Say, I'm the best. I'd like to thank the President, Vindra Adwar, for this opportunity to speak on the platform. It's an honor and a privilege, and I do not take it for granted. I would say that every opportunity given to me will be utilized to the best of my abilities. All right, let's get started. My name is Iyonsi Isael, and I'm a UX designer and a software developer intern at Decagon. All right, I'll say that again. My name is Iyonsi Isael. I am a UI UX designer and a software developer intern at Decagon. Decagon is a software engineering company in Nigeria. You could Google it. All right, so let's get to the business of the day. Today I'll be speaking to you on youth responsibility and leadership. Youth responsibility and leadership. Pause and think about that for a second. And youth responsibility and leadership. It's a very broad topic to speak under this limited time that I've been given, but I'm just gonna do the best. I'm just gonna do the best I can to touch on certain areas that I can. All right. Before we begin to dive in, I'd like to have some definition of terms. So there's three words that are very important in this discussion. There's youth, there's responsibility, and there's leadership. Now, a youth. Who's a youth? You know, we all know that word youth. We could say, oh, youth, a youth, yeah, a youth. Somebody who's young. It's often called young adult. According to Merriam-Webster, a youth is someone who is between the adolescent age and someone who's mature. So I say it again, adolescence and maturity. That range is 15 and 30 years of age, you're a youth. And trust me, that is awesome. Like, it is awesome. You could attest to the fact that this is almost one of the best periods of your life. Why did I say that? Because a large percentage of youths are unmarried, and during that stage of being single and searching or not searching, you will have a different range of opportunities to try out different things. There's this. You are at the crossroad, whereby most of your potentials that you've discovered, which can be utilized by you are like, what do I do? Should I go into this? Should I go into that? You know, and it's a big deal and a big part of our lives. I'm gonna say that it's a big deal and a big part of our lives, because being a youth is appreciate being young. I do. I appreciate the fact that I'm young. The word responsibility. That's a big word, you know. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, responsibility means to be able to answer for one's conduct and obligations. To be able to answer for one's conduct and obligations. Let's break that down. to be able to answer for one's conduct. Now, a code of conduct is a way of life, the way of life of a particular group of persons or a particular person. So, being able to be held in account. For example, you get out of bed in the morning and your house is all dusty and your car is unwashed. Your kids have to go to school. Everybody's like, daddy, mommy, this. And fact that you know that you ought to do these things. Clean the house, take the kids to school, wash the car, feed the dogs. The fact that you know that you ought to do these things. Now, it's a sense of duty or an obligation to these persons or these things makes you responsible. All right? So that, in context, that is responsibility. Knowing that you are accountable for a particular thing or person. All right? Let's move on to leadership. This concept is one of the most discussed in the world. And in short, it means the capacity to lead. That's leadership. It's the ability of an individual to guide and influence the decisions of others in a given community. I'll say it again. It's the ability of an individual to guide and influence the decisions of others in a given community. For example, let us say in your home, for example, there is somebody's opinion that matters more than everybody's opinion in the house. If most times it's usually the father or the mother, so there's an argument or anybody needs guidance, the person you turn to oftentimes is the leader. Why? He has the ability to guide you. He has the ability to counsel you. He has the ability to influence your decision. He will not make the decision for you, but he can influence your decision. Sometimes sometimes it's even conscious. It can happen consciously and subconsciously. Now, the conscious one is very, very common, but people don't take note of the subconscious one. For example, you have a role model or a mentor. He might not even say things to you. You wake up and you see how he lives his life, and to you that's just so perfect. He wakes up in the morning, he goes to the gym, he's excellent in business, he's loved among his peers, and everything about his life just feels great. He's married, he has kids, and you're there just trying to look at what he does and how he does it. That person is already guiding you and influencing your decisions. So you see, it happens either way, either active or passive, conscious or subconscious. So when that happens, the person who is in the middle, we say something like leadership has happened. Do you understand? So every one of us have people we look up to, right? Some of them, we have access to them. Some of them we don't. We only have access to their materials. The fact that we read their books influences us. It's an ability for them to guide us and influence our decision. All right, cool. Youth responsibility. Before I get into that, I'd like to talk about the role of the youth in society. The role of the youth in society. Now, the role of the youth in society is simply to renew and refresh innovations in leadership, technology, technological advancements, everything don't lie to the youth. Because one day, the senior citizens will leave us and it will be up to the youth. Because all technological advancement and everything that it takes to move a nation, a people forward, lies in the hands of the youth. Now, the aim of the youth is also to maintain culture. Culture that's been passed down from generation to generation, and also to improve on that culture to make it better and more friendly to society. You can see that the youth has a great role to play. The youth is the backbone of any nation. The youth is the backbone of any nation. It is every age group relies on the success of the youth. From the unborn kids to the senior citizens, everybody depends on the youth. So we can say that the role of the youth cannot be overemphasized. It cannot be, because we don't have society without the youth. We don't. Talk about the responsibilities of the youth. First, to reproduce. To reproduce. Apart from in population or increase in size, the youth step into the shoes of their fathers. For example, a son takes up the role of manager in a company and becomes a father to a child, a husband to a wife. They reproduce, add to the population. They improve on technology. Also, the youth is responsible for protection. A large number of the army in any nation is made up of youths. A large number of the army or the special forces in any nation is made up of people of the youths. It's made up of the youth. So the youth is also responsible for protection. It is the youth that will take up leadership roles, go into politics. There is no society without the youth. There is no society without the youth. I'll say it again. There is no society without the youth. They are the bridge between the future and the past of every culture. They're like the present. Whatever decisions they come up with is going to affect the future. If a country is not growing, or if a society is not growing, it's because the youths are not taking steps to grow. They've left it in the hands of the elderly. So how does all of this relate to leadership? I said something in the beginning of this lecture that one can lead even without knowing it. By the way you live your life, by how responsible you are. Everybody's watching. Your life is not your own. You hear things like, oh, let me live my life. I just want to live my life. I just want to live my life. No, you just don't want to live your life because society depends on you as a youth. Society depends on you a lot as a youth. Imagine that the senior citizens all die away and nobody takes up any of their roles, and they all die and they all go away. What's going to happen is that society is going to deteriorate and the future will not be a reality. So as a youth, you have to know that your fellow youth is watching at you. So as a youth, you're not living for yourself. You're living for the people around you. You're living for your community. You're living for your society. So it breaks my heart when I see that young persons are doing the opposite of what is expected of them. For example, some people don't go to school. Some people get into drugs, get into smoking, get into all kinds of things that will not benefit society, but will take society backward. It's like they don't really understand, because that's why certain programs like this are encouraged, so that young adults can find themselves and find purpose. So being a youth automatically makes you a leader. Being a youth makes you a leader because every decision you make affects society. Every decision you make affects society. Someone out there is watching. Somebody is watching. It could be your siblings, your younger siblings, your older siblings, your father, your mother. They watch how you live your life. Let's say, for example, you are a school teacher and you tutor kids every single day. When they ask the children, who's your role model? They're going to point to you because you are the one who instructs them, you guide them. To the kids, you are a perfect human being. You don't have flaws. Without even trying, you are a leader. To the kids in the streets, to your friends, your society, your peers, to the people around you. You are a leader. So at every given point in time, it is expected to inculcate good morals. And it doesn't come out of the blues, actually. It starts with habits. It all boils down to habits. What kinds of habits have you picked up over the years, and nurtured to the stage that you are in right now? Because we are driven by habits. What we like to do, how we live our life. Good. It's all habits. We wake up in the morning and we brush our teeth, we make breakfast, and we go to work, we come back, we hang out. All of that is habits. We watch movies all night. All of the habits. Now, it is important to know the habits that you form, consciously or subconsciously, because habits make you. Your habits define who you are. Do you understand? So I encourage you to have good habits. Have success habits. This is how you generate success habits. See, people who are successful, it didn't just happen. The reason why that person was successful wasn't because of their last deal or their last of that. They had success habits. Success habits are formed from, especially in your teenage years. Success habits are formed especially in your teenage years. Say, for example, we are giving a school test. Now, we have some category of students who will study very hard for that test and get an A. There are some, they are intelligent, but they don't want to put it on paper. There are some, they just don't really care. Any grade is fine by them. Now, the different category of persons that I just mentioned, who do you think will be more successful? It's obvious, the person who studied harder to get the A. Why? Because they've built success habits over time. Yeah, putting in the best in whatever they are doing. It's like this presentation I'm doing right now. I sat down, wrote out my points, prepared for it. I didn't just come, pick up the camera and start speaking. Do you understand? I came prepared for it. So the amount of success, the level of success you have is equivalent to the amount of work you've put into it. Smart work. So build success habits. Build success habits. The future lies in the hand of the youth. The future lies in the hands of the youth. Build success habits, because when you see your peers tomorrow and they are doing great things, you will not be envious. Why? Because you know you're on the right path. You've built a system that you can rely on, So it all boils down to habits. Form good habits. People who have good habits become better leaders and better successful persons. So as a youth, it's our responsibility, trust me, to be amazing leaders. It's nobody's responsibility. Nobody will make the man out of you. You have to be the man for yourself. All right? Having said all of this today, you stayed. Yeah, it wasn't so long. It was just a short presentation. And if you have questions or comments, please do well to post it in the comment section. Once again, I want to say thank you to Hallmark for giving me the privilege to speak to you guys today. And I don't take it for granted. I look forward to doing it again, doing more of this talks with you. And like I said, leave comments in the comment section. And I forgot to add something during the introduction. I'm also a Hallmark executive, and I help the club to achieve its goals and visions. All right, so this brings us to the end of our program for today. Like I said, leave comments, share, subscribe, share this news to somebody. Someone needs to hear this. Don't forget, we are the future. We are the youths. We are the bridge between the past and the future. We are the backbone of our nation, and we are leaders of our society. Thank you, and God bless you. All right, peace.